Kings.
What's
What's up?
happening?
What's
What
up?
it is?
We were rapping and
Definitely.
singing behind the scenes, so we're a little bit hyped.
Yes.
What's going on, Queens and Kings? Welcome to another edition of Their POV with Nikki King. We are your host, Nikki Johnson.
And I'm the King, King Harrington. How y'all be? That's what's up. That's what's up. Welcome to another
And,
show.
and the
Nick,
people said that they're good. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
how was your weekend?
My weekend was great. It was wonderful. So, on Sundays, I got that Sunday nap in. It
Right,
was
right.
amazing. Got some good work this morning. Saturday, took care of some stuff. Got a chance to go out and get some fresh air and enjoy the city.
Cool.
My
Well,
city. Repping it
okay.
today. What's up, San
I ain't
Antonio?
mad at you. I ain't mad at you saying
You
that.
don't say it. You don't say it.
I used to hang out there back in the day when y'all
Yes,
had
you
the when y'all had the real river walk still going. Yeah, when y'all had that real river walk. I'm just saying. Just saying.
No comment. Not the real one. No comment. So, how was your weekend?
As usual, Saturday, I'm up in the camp working, putting in time for the Verizon boys, Verizon people rather. Other than that, today, just getting in, watching some television, taking my time, getting ready for the show, getting ready to get it in and let these people know what we do and how we do it.
Anyway, we are
Exactly.
not sponsored by Verizon.
my bad. I'm sorry.
Nah,
Didn't even want to put that in there.
I'm messing
But
with you. Are we excited about today's episode?
we are definitely excited. It's a
Awesome.
personal thing. You know what I'm saying? It's a personal thing. So
It really is because King actually came up with our topic for today. So we're going to get into the whys in just a little bit, but we do have a couple of things we need to take care of, some housekeeping. Have you guys shared yet? Have they shared yet, King?
I'm trying to see y'all sharing the show. Come on now. I done put it out there. I didn't share, so I need y'all to share. Okay? So we can all share together in this love of this show and getting us out there. Just share love. That's all.
Just share love.
Share love.
Sharing is caring, isn't it?
That's what I always talk with though. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. That's it.
Yes, have a watch party, invite people to join. And
Yes.
as always, we want to hear your POV. So, how can we hear the POV, King?
Well, I mean, they can go ahead and log in, leave some comments, their thoughts on their hashtag their POV with the King, excuse me, with Nick and King
Oh,
on our YouTube, what I'm saying, on our Facebook,
just left me out of that.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
You believe me, you are too hard to forget. Okay, no ma'am, I'm just saying. Look at the beauty. I mean, how can you forget that face, that smile? So
You just made up for it. No, seriously,
listen,
have you guys liked us on Facebook yet? It's their POV with Nick and King. You can also like us individually. I am Nikki Johnson on Facebook. He's William Harrington. You can find us on Instagram. I'm there at Nikki's Nuggets. Give them your Instagram.
Instagram, The Factor. You know what I'm saying? So look me up, The Factor. So I'm there.
All righty. So with all of that said, let's get into our issues of the day. Today, we are going to have some more candid conversations. The very first one we're going to have is, do you know how to be a wife or a husband? So King came up with this topic. Tell us, what was the inspiration for this topic?
I feel that even with me, a lot of people don't know how to be a wife, don't know how to be a husband. It's one thing to have a title. It's one thing to go by tradition of what you heard or what you've seen your parents, but that doesn't actually say how. Do you know how to be a wife, be a husband? Because it's different than how to be a friend, how to be a girlfriend, how to be all those. But when you talk about a wife and a husband, that's a serious role that you need to understand what it is to be that person. So yeah, this is what I came up with, and I had to grow into that position. Okay, to understand what it means to be a husband and really take it to heart. And I feel if people got any questions or anything that you can help us out with, help me out with it, because my girl Nick, she's still at that threshold, y'all. She just ain't been scooped up yet, so I think she has before.
Speaking of which, wait a minute. Speaking of which, we got to do our shout outs.
Gotcha. Go ahead.
So sorry about that. I would like to do my shout out to my future husband. Wherever you are, don't quit laughing. Wherever you are, I know you are somewhere preparing and praying for me. I'm doing the same for you. I cannot wait until God reveals to each of us what His will and His plans are. But hey, babe.
Okay, and again, I'd like to give my beautiful wife, Shakita Harrington. Love her to death, and I hope she's watching. But yes, just want to get that shout out.
We love it to life.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
We
ma'am.
love it to life.
Yes, to the end.
And we also want to give a shout out to all of you. Our likes keep growing. Don't forget, when we hit 500, we are going to do a giveaway that is sponsored by King. Yeah.
Yes.
So, and we
Oh,
have
wait a minute. Hold on. I'm sorry, Nick. Hold on.
you
I'm
see,
so
but
sorry.
it went. That's okay.
I missed that, Nick.
We're gonna learn to stop agreeing. Because
because I thought you were gonna say King and Nick. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, King and Nick. I could have sworn that's what you were gonna say. But being that you said that,
sponsored by King.
no. Everybody understand that's promoted and given. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Sponsored the whole nine is gonna be from Nick and King. The show is what? Nick and King. Yeah, there we go. So we're gonna be the ones that do it together. That's that. You know what I'm saying? That solidarity. Yeah.
Right. So
Hello, sister.
Well, we do thank all of you guys for the support. Thank you for the emails. Thank you for the comments. Thank you when you listen on our other platforms. We've gotten a lot of great feedback. We are on episode number 4 now. So
Yes.
we are a good month in. We want to tell you now, and we'll try to remember to tell you at the end of the show as well. Next week, we will not have a live. It is Easter Sunday, so we're going to give, we celebrate Easter on this coming Sunday. Happy Resurrection Day ahead of time. But we want to give respect and honor to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, as well as spend time with our family. So we will not be live next week. So we're going to take time with today's show because we will not see our family next week. We won't see y'all. So let's jump into it, King. We're talking about, do you know how to be a husband or a wife? And he just gave us his reasons for wanting to pick this particular topic. So with that said, I'm going to let you kick it off. Do you have a comment, a question that you want to start out with? How you want to kick it off?
Basically, let's see. And honestly, Nick, I got a question for you. I know since you just passed me. Okay.
You want to pass the mic back? Okay.
I'm passing the mic back. You know what I'm saying?
Pass it to you, but go ahead.
Okay. So what do you feel makes a good spouse?
What do I feel? What? I'm sorry.
Makes a good spouse.
Oh.
Yeah. I thought that you.
I mean, okay. You hit it like that.
Hit you with that fastball.
Yes, you did. I mean, I'm okay with that.
I know, because you always ride to the cake, so that's why I do it to you like that. You know what I'm saying? A relief pitcher type thing. You know how to close. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yes. So I'm gonna be honest. That's gonna always be according to the person that's gonna marry the other person. Does that make sense? Because what maybe you said was perfect, right? Was that the way you worded it?
No, I just said what you feel makes a good one.
A good spouse. What makes a good spouse for me may not make a good spouse for my sister. I think it really depends on the values the two people share, the purpose for them two getting married. Sometimes our reasons and motivations for marriage, they seemingly are right, but they're not right enough sometimes to sustain a marriage. Because you can't marry somebody just because they fine. That I've never seen to sustain a marriage, but who knows? I could be wrong. I don't know everything. The other thing would be is someone has to learn how to love me, and I have to learn how to love them.
Okay.
Because we're not all the same. I know we like to categorize all women. We like to categorize all men together, but we're not all the same. We may have some of the same attributes. We may do some of the same things, but we're all each individual. So what, again, makes a good spouse for me may not make a good spouse for someone else. So let me ask you the same question.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be my answer. What makes a good spouse for you? What works for King?
What works for King? A good spouse is knowing your role. And I think a lot of brothers might not understand what that means, knowing your role as a husband, as a spouse, but it means that as a man, there's a role that you have to take on as being a husband. There's honesty, there's transparency, there's vulnerability, there's love, there's so many titles, so many different ways that you're supposed to understand of what being a good spouse is. And why I said those, because those are general ones.
Yeah.
Anything else that you can add to
Right.
that is on your own. You know what I'm saying? Customize it yourself. But those are the generalities that you need to have to be a good spouse. Knowing how to listen, knowing when to say something, when to not. I mean, coming into my marriage was like, okay, wow, understanding. I've been married before, so I never took them serious as I should have. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I used to tell, I think I told Nick before, I looked at it as an over glamorous girlfriend.
Yeah.
Glamorized it, you know what I'm saying? So I really didn't understand and respect what being a good husband was
Yeah.
until I got married to my wife I have now. And I
Yeah.
understood the responsibility, because the responsibility of being a good husband.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Can
saying?
I can
Within
I hit
yourself.
that for a second
Sure, go
before we
ahead,
continue
please.
on? So you
Please.
said something because you did used to call it over glamorized girlfriend.
Mhm.
Do you know that some people that is where the mentality of well, it's just a piece of paper comes
Mm,
from?
mm,
Like people who have lived together
I believe it.
and they're like, I really don't want to get married because it's just a piece of paper. Because people seriously feel like there's no difference between someone that you've lived with for 2, 3, 5, 15 years and
Hmm.
someone that you're gonna marry. And I know from personal experience because I've been married before, and you can chime in on this.
Hmm.
Is that the same thing? Living with someone and being married to someone, is that the same thing?
Honestly, to be honest, from a male's point of view, no, it's not. Because
Exactly.
yeah, because
And I agree with that.
right. Because why? Because when you live with somebody, you can step when you want to. There's no obligation.
That's
That's
it.
basically the main difference between being married and being in a relationship, living with somebody. Because you can step when you want to. There's no obligation. I'm not committed to you per se. I mean, we're in this together. I mean, I might be helping you with your rent, or we're helping each other, however we're doing it. But you know what? When
The
I get to know
commitment
it,
level is definitely different.
exactly.
Definitely different.
When I get to know it, or I feel some kind of way, I can step. I
Right.
mean, it ain't the right thing to do. It might not be right. Yeah, but as far as in God's eyes, hey, first of all, we're wrong anyway
Yeah.
because we live, So my thing is, I'm not really, I don't feel I'm that obligated, so I can walk.
Right.
With a marriage, it's not that easy. You know what I'm saying? To just walk out.
It's
I mean, if
not that
that's
black and white.
no,
It
it's
is
not.
not that
And
black and
and
white.
that's even not even considering understanding the paper you sign. We talking about that vow that you made in front of the Lord.
That's
Even
it.
if it ain't in the church. You know what I'm saying? If you did injustice of peace, you still made that vow and those sacred words that you said. You need to, what I'm saying? You got to
You
abide
got
by
to
that.
honor them.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
my thing is understanding when you do that. Now you got to be the best person, the best man, the best husband, the best spouse you can be, and that takes training,
It
that
takes
takes
work.
learning, it takes work.
It takes
Exactly.
work.
I mean, I never thought it would be as hard as it is, and I don't mean hard in a physical way, hard in a mental, emotional understanding what needs got to be met on both ends
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
actually look at yourself in the mirror and say, "I'm a good husband."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And there's never going to be a perfect husband, but I'm a good husband. You want to feel
Hmm.
confident about saying that because of the things that you do to make
Right.
your marriage work. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So anybody that's been married, y'all understand it ain't never been a cup of tea. You know what I'm saying? On a daily, it ain't never been a cup of tea, and it won't be. But they're if you do what you're supposed to do and really understand what being a good spouse is, there'll be more good days of tea than there'll be good days of some salt or anything that's not good. But it's a thing that I take pride in of understanding what being a good husband is and what being a real husband. It's all that plays a part because that's a role, y'all. That I see my parents. My dad was a good man. He was a good, what I'm saying, as far as I know, a good husband to my mom and stuff. From what I seen, as far as the providing and stuff, and that's where I learned that from. How to be a
Hmm.
good provider.
Hmm.
How to, what I'm saying, everything else I had to learn on my own as far as how to listen, how to understand what she's going through when I don't know what she's going through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How to take there's so many things, that you have to pay attention to. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? To be able to know your wife. You got brothers that don't even know the birthdays. They have to get a hint
Right.
some kind of way. I mean, that it's some basic stuff that you're supposed to know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Birthdays and being able to pick up things, knowing your wife certain things that she likes and stuff. That's things that you pay attention as a good husband.
Hmm.
Those are all attributes of that. And that's what I do.
Or as a husband or wife with good intentions.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Because I think it's really all about the intention and the commitment. Do you commit to intentionally try your best every day?
Exactly.
There's a saying that we each give 50-50. I've
Mhm,
never agreed with that. Even as a young girl, I
mhm.
always felt like you each give 100. You
Yeah,
give all the
definitely.
best of you. Excuse me, because you want two wholes, right? You don't want
Exactly.
two halves trying to make a
Right.
whole. You want two wholes, and Anytime any of my friends or people that I know get married, what I always speak over them is my prayer for you is that you are selfishly trying to outlove the other daily. And I say that because sometimes we get into the habit of keeping scores. Well, I've done X, Y, and Z. He need to do so and so. I'm always the one doing. My prayer has always been that every day that they would selfishly try to outdo the other one. So there is no lack, and there is always someone that's intentionally trying. They are committed to the try.
Exactly.
You have to also be committed to the staying together. Like you said earlier, when you're living together, there's always that back in the head option of you can do it when you want to. When is this lease up? You know what I mean? But when you're married, if you go into it with the right intentions and with the right agreement, you agree every day that come hell or high water, divorce is off the table.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna need you to only get this together because we're gonna stay together. Divorce is off the table. Oftentimes, divorce is the constant reminder. Some people even throw that word around like it's meaningless. And so I'm so sorry, I just heard my dog. She wants to play right now. Been with her all day and now she wants to play, but it's live. So the other thing is I want to ask you this question. And whether you're watching us live or you're going to watch us in the replay, don't forget to chime in down in the comments. Do you think people innately know how to be husbands or wives, or is that something that you have to learn in time?
Definitely something you have to learn, because you don't grow up being a husband. You don't grow up being a wife.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? That's bottom line. You know what I'm saying? When I was born, I was not born to be a husband. I had to learn. I was born to be a man or boy at first and grow up to be a man. No different. I had to learn different traits of being a young man, being a boy first, young man, man. No different than being a husband. You have to understand and learn that role of being a husband, because it ain't like being a boyfriend. It ain't like being a girlfriend.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And those are two different, it's just meeting a girl. Hey, how you doing? I like you, you like me, blase, blase. We go out, we have a good time. That ain't a husband. That ain't a wife. You taking on some serious responsibility.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You taking ownership of this person. You know what I'm saying? Basically, y'all belong to each other as far as protection, but obligation, everything is a whole different, sense of being there.
And you become one with that person. And that's something to consider when you're choosing who you want to be your mate for life. You're going to become one with that person. So,
and that life thing. I'm sorry, what you said about that life thing, I don't think we really actually consider what that means. When they say do death do you part, you can hear that all the time. And until you realize it, like, they mean death. I might live another 56, 70 years. You know what I'm saying? I think people don't really understand. It's easy to say because in the moment, hey, she is my ride or die. She is the one. I'm never going to leave her.
Yeah.
Give me about 3-4 years. Y'all ain't seen eye to eye. It's like, man, what? Really? You know what I'm saying? And that's where that good husband, good spouse, good wife comes in at. Because now you got to understand, back against the wall. Do you come out swinging, or do you come out with a hand, with an olive branch, and say, hey, let's make this happen. Let's put all these, let's put all this behind us and start fresh. Like people sit, my thing has always been, if it gets to that point, exhaust all options. So that means counseling. That means, everything you have to do before you get to the point where you said, I just can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the thing.
We do understand that there are situations, let's make sure we put that out there, where safety is an issue. Whatever that safety is, it's an issue. You need to handle that for sure. Do what you need to do to protect yourself. But when it comes to other things that can be worked out, yes, please let counseling be a first option.
Right.
I think we make a mistake with letting counseling be, okay, if this don't work out to everything else, then I'm done. Well, by that time, you're so exhausted and you're so overwhelmed and you're already at your wit's end. It takes a lot for that post therapist or counselor to really break through if you're letting it build and build and build.
Exactly.
I think pre-counseling is a wonderful thing. I think counseling throughout the marriage doesn't have to be an issue. You just want to, like, you go to take your vehicle to get tuned up.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do things to your vehicle to keep it running properly. I
Right.
think the same thing happens when it comes to your marriage. Just like it's always important to keep dating your spouse, it's
Mm-hmm.
always important to spend time with them, talk to them, be intimate.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean intimate, not just sex. I mean
Right.
intimate. Y'all see the little ball she waiting on me to throw it.
Not to cut you
All
off,
of
Nick.
that stuff.
Just ask a question. I'm sorry. I think a lot of people don't understand what intimacy is because a lot
Okay.
of people think it's just sex. But go ahead and if you can elaborate on what real intimacy is, because I don't
Absolutely.
think
Let's
people
do
like
it from a
know.
male and female point of view. I'll
Gotcha.
give this one.
Okay.
So um intimacy for me begins way before the sexual part.
Mm-hmm.
Intimacy is mental. Intimacy is that personal, devoted time to each other. Intimacy is taking the time to listen to the other one and hear,
Mm-hmm.
ask questions. I need to do a check in every so often if we're in a relationship. I
Mm-hmm.
want to know if you're happy with me. I want to know if there are things that I'm doing that I need to work on, or there are things that maybe together we can work on. I want to know what pleases you in every area,
Mm-hmm.
including the sexual area, because if I go through the relationship feeling like whatever I'm doing is right and he better like it, I could be in a whole bunch of trouble because I'm
Right.
not asking the right questions. And then when I go to tell you, or he goes to tell me, well, baby, I don't like when you do that, I'm all offended. I
Mm-hmm.
should be asking throughout, right?
Exactly.
Because I'm going to keep changing as the years go by. And so is he.
Yeah.
When we got together, he may have loved my smothered pork chops. 5 years down the line, maybe pork is not his thing anymore. And I
Right.
keep
Right.
cooking it. And he's trying to tell me, baby,
Mm-hmm.
don't cook me to smother pork chops, but I'm not listening. And I
Right.
know that's real simple and kind of flippant, but it's the truth.
Mm-hmm. It's truth.
It's the
Exactly.
truth. And so intimacy, and it's also about holding each other, just feeling the chemistry, just laying on each other's chest, smelling
Mm-hmm.
each other's necks. It's the
Mm-hmm.
small things that really draw you to each other. And it almost, I like to see it as this invisible barrier that is put
Mm-hmm.
around the two of you where you're safeguarding versus you're not spending any of that intimate personal time together. And sometimes it just becomes the sex. But then somebody outside the relationship is giving that conversation. They're
Mm-hmm.
asking, well, how is everything going? They want to know how your day is going. And
Right.
so you start finding yourself being drawn to something else. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Like that. Definitely like that. I actually was in therapy. Went to therapy about I'm gonna say about 10 years. No, I'm sorry, a little bit more than about 20 years ago.
Okay.
And um, I asked the therapist, What is my problem with women, and feeling that I have, just never really giving them the attention that I need to give them or stay in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And then they told me, because I told them about the sex thing, yeah, all that, and they said intimacy. I said, yeah, I showed them love, and he said, oh, that's not intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
Intimacy is when you share your innermost thoughts,
That's it.
the closest. I was like, huh? Because I said,
Bishop Jakes
we,
used to call it seeing into me. Intimacy, see
I
into me.
understand.
Yeah.
Because we always associate, the first thing when you hear intimacy, you associate with sex.
Sex. Yeah.
But when I found out, when I really listened to what intimacy really meant, it's sharing those close to those innermost thoughts, those really things like, this is the example he gave me. Like if you in the back, if your woman's in the bathroom using it, you can sit in there and talk to her. That's intimacy.
Yes. That's when
That's
I know
intimacy.
that's when I know we really locked
That's
in.
it, and that's intimate. Like I said, but
Yes.
that's that
Yes.
innermost when you can talk to her and you can talk to him, and he's in the bathroom because that's an intimate part of the day. Or what I'm saying, I'm sitting in the bathroom when she's in there talking to her. And so when I found that, I understood intimacy, being
Mm-hmm.
able to share those deep thoughts, being able to share that specific thing with you that you don't share with anybody, but that
Mm-hmm.
spouse, but that person. And
Right.
so yeah, now I understand that far more than the understanding that it's a part of sex. In that sense, I know overall, yeah, being intimate, but intimacy gives
Yeah.
me that like, hey, know her first, know her
Yes.
within, know him within.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying, know what he thinking. Sometimes ask him about his day. Just that intimate part of your day that you can relate to them on a deeper level. But getting back, as far as when we was talking about the husband point of view. Oh man, I mean, mm, I think every day that I wake up, that how can I be better? How can I give myself more of her, me more of her, give her more of me, That's what I meant to say. And it's just not that it's a struggle, but I try to get myself to understand that what else can I do? I mean, from anything that I would do physically around the house and stuff. Do more cooking. You know, I take out the trash, right? No big deal. What I'm saying, more cleaning up and stuff. you know. But overall, just being understanding, being listening, just everything, from opening doors and just doing everything I need to do to understand to be a good man as well as a good husband. I can't hear you. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Yeah, I can't. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. But we experience a little difficulties. Nick is I can't hear her, but she can hear me. So let's see what's going on. Just bear with us, y'all. No, just bear with us. No, ma'am. Uh, just bear with us, y'all. Don't know what happened. No, but you can hear me. You can hear me. I can't hear you at all. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm thinking that she said that she's gonna exit for a minute and then come back in, y'all. So I'm gonna have to keep y'all entertained.